Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. I'm Officer Well out of IUIC Raleigh, North Carolina. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, the page. Hey, today's class is called Fight the Face of the Serpent. We're going to fight the face of the serpent. Hey, all praises. You already know some of the scriptures I'm going into if I'm talking about the face of the serpent. So we're going to deal with that today. We've got a lot of scriptures, a little bit of history. So all praise to the Most High in a couple of clips. Let's start off 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Verse 3. Fight the face of the serpent.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
So Israel, we walk in the flesh. We sentence to these bodies for a time. We in the flesh. But we can't war after the flesh. That means physical fighting. That means like the war going on right now. Gaza. You got Ukraine and Russia. And there's going to be more wars. We're not to war carnally like that. There's wars in our streets, in our neighborhoods. Crips, Bloods, GDs, Viceroys, all that going on in our neighborhoods. We're not to war like that. But read on.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
God has taught us the true weapons of war, the spiritual weapons. Not knives and guns. No. Spiritual weapons that fight off religion. They fight off drugs. They fight off the world itself. Our evil education. All these things came from the face of the serpent. We're going to dive into that and prove what we've been fed by and how we got to fight that thing. Come on.
But mighty through God.
So these weapons are mighty through God. A knife, a man made a knife. A man made a gun. You're going to find out the same man made all those knives and guns. The so-called white man. But those knives and guns don't have spiritual power. The weapons that God gave us, which is these oracles, they have spiritual power. Come on.
Through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
Can't nothing pull down a stronghold, those mental strongholds, those hang-ups, our trauma, like the Bible. Read.
Casting down imaginations.
We are called to cast down imaginations. Before war even starts, someone has to imagine war. Before adultery starts, you have to imagine adultery. Before murder, before stealing, before covetousness, they'll all start in your mind. God said, I give you weapons that can fight the very imaginations that bring about those sins. Come on.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
So these are the weapons we have. We can fight against every high thing. High things means this. You don't see these people on the street that push this stuff. These people are in high places. We can't see those people. We can't go to their house and protest. We can't go beat down their doors. We can't vote to get them in or out of office. These are high places. These are high things they have set up. But God said with his weapons, we can fight against it. Come on.
And bring it into captivity, every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Not just your thoughts, but the thoughts of the entire world can be brought into the obedience of Christ. Those that don't want to be brought into obedience are going to die. They're going to burn here. But read on.
And having in readiness to avenge all disobedience.
Read that again.
And having in a readiness.
You got to have in a readiness to what?
To revenge.
To revenge. Read.
All disobedience.
Have this mind in you, Israelites. Have a mind ready to revenge disobedience against our God. Who are the people of this planet to go against the God of Israel? We are his chosen vessel. We want to revenge that. Not carnally. Not lay hands on nobody. But spiritually, we're going to pull out the weapons of war. Read on.
When your obedience is fulfilled.
So first, your obedience got to be fulfilled. First, before anything, you got to fulfill your obedience before you go out into the streets. That's why a lot of brothers be novices. Can you give me that scripture real quick about the novice? Give me that, I believe it's Timothy, not a novice. Give me 1 Timothy 3. Let's start at verse 1. We're going to read down to 6. And we'll come back where we're at.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1.
We're going here because I mentioned a novice. Now, come on.
This is a true saying.
Read.
If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desire a good work.
Everybody don't want to be a leader. Bishop means leader. Bishop is a word that means leader. Everybody don't want to be a leader. Even in the Israelite camps, the Yahya's, the Yahweh Baba Shem Yahweh Shai's, those camps, they don't want to be bishops. They don't want to be leaders. Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yahweh, Bishop Kanai are making leaders. He's not making stooges, stool pigeons, nothing like that. They ain't making, permanent students. No. They make leaders. That's the office of a bishop, a leader. Read.
A bishop then must be blameless.
You got to be blameless. You got to be keeping the commandments. Read.
The husband of one wife.
You lost half the camps right there. One wife. You lost most Christianity right there. One wife. Read.
Vigilant.
You got to be vigilant, on the watch. Read.
Sober.
You can't be high. You can't be smoking the ganja. Oh, Genesis 3:16 says we can smoke herb. No, it don't. That's not what it's talking about. Ain't talking about smoking, eating marijuana. Poison ivy is a plant. I don't see Negroes eating it. Poison oak and sumac, those are plants. Ain't nobody eating it. Cactus thorns. I bet they got a lot of protein if you eat a cactus thorn. Come on. You see what brothers is foot wise to do evil. Come on.
Of good behavior.
Good behavior. Good behavior. You don't hate your brothers. Come on.
Given to hospitality.
Given to hospitality.
Apt to teach.
Able to teach. That's what we're talking about. A bishop must be able, must be skilled, and must be able to teach. Read on.
Not given to wine.
No drunkards. Read.
No striker.
Can't be on these streets fighting. Read.
Not greedy of filthy lucre.
A lot of brothers be greedy, stealing. Come on.
But patient.
Patient.
Not a brawler.
Not argumentative. Read.
Not covetous.
Not covetous. Read.
One that ruleth well his own house.
Now that's what we were talking about. Hold that. I want to go back to Corinthians real quick. Where it says that last part we read. Verse 6.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 6. And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
Have that warrior mind state to revenge all disobedience. When?
When your obedience is fulfilled.
When you do what we're about to read. Go back to Timothy. Verse 5.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 4.
Come on.
One that ruleth well his own house.
So you got to rule your own house well. That means seek counsel. Your life got to be open book when you come to this thing. If you're not with a camp, you better get with somebody. But if you're in IUIC, you already know where to go. You go to the school. You go to the sanctuary. You get with leadership. And you open the book that's your life. And let them instruct you on how to run your house, you men. And you sisters, how to guide your house. You need those big sisters to instruct you on that. If you're not doing that, if you're hiding what's going on, you're not ready to revenge all disobedience because you're still disobedient yourself. The Bible makes it clear. You must rule well your own house. Come on.
Having his children in subjection with all gravity.
So the children must be in subjection with all gravity. Come on.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house.
And that starts with the man himself, not just the children and the wife. The man himself must be under control. But you are fed from the face of the serpent. So you are toxic. You are poisoned. We don't see that coming in that we're broken people. Read on.
How shall he take care of the church of God?
So if you don't know how to rule your own house, how are you going to be a bishop? How are you going to take care of the church of God? You're called to be bishops. You're called to be leaders. Everyone here is called to be a leader. That's what the calling is for. To lead the 12 tribes of Israel out of Babylon into the kingdom of heaven. But how can you do that if you don't know how to take care of your own house, starting with your own person? You understand what I'm saying? If you don't know how to do that, you can't do those things. Go back to 2 Corinthians.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 again. And verse 6. And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience, when your obedience is fulfilled.
When your obedience is fulfilled. I want to go to John 8:44.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44.
So I mentioned that we are toxic, that we are poisoned. We're going to go into that. Come on.
Ye are of your father, the devil.
You got a red daddy. You got a big red daddy somewhere. That's the devil. Here in John, it's talking about Rome. Rome, so-called white man, the Romans, Edom, Esau. America is an extension of Rome, the so-called white man. Esau, the Idumeans, same people. Read that again.
Ye are of your father, the devil.
Well, go to verse 43. Watch this.
Verse 43.
Jump up one verse.
Why do ye not understand my speech?
Christ said, why don't you understand what I'm saying? All these words that we read so far are still of Christ. Remember, Paul spoke in the spirit of Christ. But you can't see that I need to be a leader. I need to have my life in order. Why can't you understand my words, Christ says? Read.
Even because ye cannot hear my word.
You can't hear my word, Christ says. Why?
Ye are of your father, the devil.
You still got the damn devil on you. Your father who raised you up is still on you. His influence is still all in your body, permeating. Come on.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
Your red daddy You do what he wants you to do, what he raised you in. Come on.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
You know he's a murderer. That goes back to Cain, the predecessor to Esau. Come on.
And abode not in the truth.
And he ain't keep the truth. What's the truth? God's law, statutes, and commandments. Psalms 119, 142. Come on.
Because there is no truth in him.
There's no truth in that man. Read.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
So when the so-called, when Edom, when they talk about people lying, they usually talk about themselves. Their words land on themselves. The things they criticize, they do on the other end. And that's your daddy? That's your big red daddy? Read.
For he is a liar.
He's a liar.
And the father of it.
And we're going to dive into that. He's a liar and the father of it. First, we'll go to Revelation chapter 12. He's a liar. I'm telling you. Let's go Revelation chapter 12. And we're going to start at verse 1. We'll start at verse 3rd. No, I'm sorry, verse 12. Verse 1. Start at verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet.
That woman is Israel. That woman is Israel. A woman clothed with the sun. And what?
And the moon under her feet.
That's symbolic. The sun and moon are symbolic of the old and new covenant. That's wisdom. Real quick, give me Proverbs 6:23. And then we're going to come right back. The sun and the moon, both those things give light. Let's see what it's talking about.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23.
Come on.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
A lamp, light. The law is light. The law is light. Read.
And the reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Now go back. So it's talking about the laws. It's talking about the old and new covenant, one greater than the other. Come on.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet.
Come on.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
So I said the woman was Israel. Here's the proof. Go to Genesis 37 and 9. He said on her head, a crown of 12 stars. Where did we hear that from? If you don't read the Old Testament, like, what's that guy's name? That effeminate pastor? I forget his name. He spit in the guy's face. He spit in the guy's face. I don't want to know his name. He said, don't touch the Old Testament. You need to start in John and Matthew, Luke. Read the Gospels. But how would I understand what this meant if I started in Matthew? Go to Genesis 37, verse 9.
The book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 9.
I wouldn't understand who the woman was. Read.
And he dreamed yet another dream and told it his brother.
Now this is Joseph. This is Joseph, the forefather, the patriarch Joseph. He dreamed another dream while he was a child. Read.
And said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 12 and the 11 stars.
The sun and the moon was his father and mother. And then it says the what?
The 11 stars.
That means he was one of them. And then there were 11 other stars. That equals 12. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 sons of Jacob. Read.
Made abstinence to me.
Obeisance to me. And they bowed down. So let's go back. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel. That's the woman he's seen. Go back. The woman in Revelations, the 12 tribes of Israel, symbolically. The 12 stars, representative of the 12 tribes. So keep reading.
The
Chapter
book of
12,
Revelation,
verse 2.
Chapter 12 and verse 2.
Come on.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
That child was Christ. That child was Christ. Read.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon.
A what?
A great red dragon.
A what?
A great red dragon.
Let's identify the red dragon. First, give me Job 30 and 30. Dragons. Mythical beasts or human beings? The great red dragon is a nation of people. Let's get them. Job 30 and 30. Not 30. 30 and 29.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 29.
Come on.
I am a brother to dragons.
So Job said, I am a brother to dragons. Come on.
And a companion to owls.
So Job said, I am a brother to dragons. I am a brother to dragons. Let's see. Let's go to Genesis 25:25. So dragons can also be men. Job himself wasn't a dragon. Dragons can be men. So, what man was read? Give me Genesis 25:25.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25. Mm-hmm. And the first came out red.
So the first child of Isaac and Rebekah came out what color?
Came out red.
He was red. Read on.
All over like a hairy garment.
He was also hairy.
And they called his name Esau.
What they call his name?
Esau.
What they call his name?
Esau.
Let's get another precept. Give me the rest of Esther and the Apocrypha. This is basically chapter 10. It's part of chapter 10. Remember, the Apocrypha is cut off from what they call the regular Bible, but the whole Bible is supposed to be together. So if you go in your Apocrypha, the rest of Esther starts at the midway through chapter 10. So chapter 10, and we're going to read verse 1 through 7. This is another, allusion, comparing dragons to men. Come on. So we read that Esau's red. Now let's watch this. This is an actual Edomite talking about it. Come on. You got it? The rest of Esther, it's pretty much the first chapter. It's starting the beginning.
The book of Esther, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 10 and verse 1.
It's basically verse 4. But go ahead.
Then Marcodosius,
that's Mordecai,
said,
mm-hmm.
God had done these things.
God have done these things. Read.
For I remember a dream which I saw concerning these matters.
Mordecai said, I had a dream. Read.
And nothing thereof have failed.
Come on.
A little fountain came a river, and there was light, and the sun, and much water. This river is Esther.
So he's already telling you, these things are being spiritually compared with people. That's how the Bible is written, comparing one thing to another. So the river is Esther. Come on.
Whom the king married and made queen.
Come on. Queen Esther. Uh-huh.
And the two dragons.
And the what?
And the two dragons.
Because he had a dream about two dragons. Read.
Are I.
Is him.
And a man.
Amen. Which is Haman. Which is an Edomite. An Agagite. That's a red dragon. Another example. He would be an Edomite. He'd be red. And then Mordecai saw him in the spirit. A dragon. Now go back to Revelations. So oftentimes the Bible can use those types of similitudes. That's a good word. Similitudes. So go back to Revelation chapter 12.
The book of Revelation chapter 12 and verse 2.
Verse 3 now.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
So we know the great red dragon, that's the so-called white man, Esau. Let's jump down. I want verse 13.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the women.
The woman is the same woman from verse 1, Israel. She persecuted the woman. Read.
Which brought forth the man-child.
Which brought forth Christ, the black Messiah. Read.
And to the woman.
And to the woman.
Were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
2 wings of a great eagle. That symbolizes a great escape. Let's get the proof on that. Here's a precept. Give me Exodus, I believe it's 19, verse 4. Those 2 wings of a great eagle. Exodus 19 and 4. Let's see where that's mentioned in the Old Testament. That the Christians would not want you to read. Come on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 4.
Read.
Ye have seen that I did unto the Egyptians.
You seen what I did to the Egyptians. Read.
And how I bear you on eagle's wings.
What'd he do?
I bear you on eagle's wings.
Come on.
And brought you unto myself.
He escaped. What did we do? We escaped Egypt. That is symbolic of escape. Now go back to Revelations. 12 and 14 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And to the woman.
And to the woman, Israel.
Were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Escaping Rome now. Come on.
That she might fly into the wilderness.
Now let's get Luke 21. Why do we have to escape Rome? Let's look. Let's prove that that's what we're talking about. 70 AD. Luke chapter 20. Luke chapter 21, verse 20.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 20.
You can read fast.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
Jerusalem surrounded. Come on.
then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Titus and Vespasian surrounded Jerusalem. They sacked Jerusalem. They starved us out. They laid siege upon us. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Flee where?
Flee to the mountains.
That's Africa. Flee to Africa. That is the great escape. Flee to Africa, the mountains, the same place that Christ as a child fled to with his parents. They fled into the mountains to Africa. Get that real quick for me. You know what I want? Luke, I believe it's 2. Is that what I want? Luke chapter, is it Luke? Matthew, appreciate you. Matthew chapter 2, verse 13.
The book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee unto Egypt.
So you see the duality there? How it's a twofold scripture? The young child, which was delivered of the woman, which was Mary, fled into Egypt, fled to Africa. Then it prophesied that nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, would flee the same way into Africa. Come on, let's go back to Revelation chapter 12 now.
The book of Revelation.
Verse 14 again.
Chapter 12 and verse 14.
Come on.
And to the women were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
A great escape.
That she may fly into the wilderness.
Into Africa, 70 AD. We fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution. And then go back to Luke real quick. Forgot to note, because in the times we in, we got to always remind people who's in Jerusalem now. It ain't the right people. Luke 21, give me the last verse, 24.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 24.
Come on.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
The Israelites will fall by the edge of the sword. Read.
And shall be led away captive unto all nations.
So we will not be in Jerusalem. Read.
And Jerusalem
in our homeland
shall be trodden down.
Shall be occupied.
Of the Gentiles.
Of heathen, of the so-called white man, of the so-called Jewish man. Also, the so-called Arabs are around in there a little bit for now. But who took control of the land and say they're the people? Amalek. Edom. Is that it?
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
That's not yet. Christ ain't returned. So guess what? They're still there. Go back. Revelation chapter 12. We're living in biblical prophecy. We're living in Revelations. Go ahead.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
To Israel was given a great escape. Read.
That she might fly unto the wilderness.
That she might go to Africa. Read.
Into her place.
She eventually ends up where? In America. She ends up in America. That's her place. Read. And I'm going to give a precept. Read.
Where she is nourished.
So in this place, we're going to prove it. It's America. In this place, she is what?
Nourished.
Means fed. It can also mean taught, instructed, raised, nourished. Read.
For a time.
For a time.
And times.
Times.
And half a time.
Read.
From the face of the serpent.
Now jump back. I want to read it again. Start from into her place.
Into her place.
So we will be taken into her place. Go to Hosea. Hold where you at. We're going to come right back. Go to Hosea 1. What is her place? You start at Hosea chapter 1. Let's go to verse 9 and 10.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 9. Then said God, call his name Loami. For ye are not my people.
It says, ye are not my people.
And I will not be your God.
The children of Israel rebelled against God. God don't take kindly to that. He said, I don't know you now. You break my commandments, I don't know you. Read.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Yet I will leave you in a great multitude. When you look at blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians scattered abroad and in America, we outnumber all nations. To this day, we outnumber all nations. Read.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
We can't be numbered by any census. Read.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto
That's
them.
The place that in Revelation said we'd be. In that place where it was what?
That it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
In what place was it said to us we were not God's chosen people? Was it Africa? Was it Jerusalem? Or was it right here? It was in America where we have said, you're not God's people. Anybody else could be the chosen people of God but you. Anybody else. It's not you Negroes. But we got all kinds of people in Israel. But it ain't you. Come on.
There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
They even didn't say we was the Christians. They said the so-called white man was a Christian. The Esau was a Christian. Amalek was a Jew man. And you nothing. We just had to adopt their ways as they pervert our religion, our true religion, God's commandments, and pervert our Messiah, change him into a whole nother face. Read that last part. There shall be, read that, start again, read it from the top again,
The book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10.
Come on.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
Read.
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Can't measure or number us. Read.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
In America.
There it shall be said unto them.
In America, what?
Ye are the sons of the living God.
In America, it'll be said to us, you are the sons of the living God. In America, we're going to realize who we are. Go to Isaiah 1 and 3 real quick. We need that said to us because it's prophetic for us in the last days as the children of Israel to not know who we are. Isaiah 1 and 3 real quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Come on.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Read.
But Israel doth not know.
So two carnal animals know basic things. Who their God is and where their land is. But who don't know?
But Israel doth not know.
We don't know. The people of the Bible wouldn't know. That's how we know who we are. You look around in Israel, they know who they are. At least they think they do. They know who they lying about who they are. You can't challenge not one of them. Even the ones that don't practice religion still say, well, I'm still a Jew. I'm still Yehudi. I just don't do any of this stuff. But we as black people be all up in the Bible and refuse to claim our heritage. Come on.
My people does not consider.
My people don't care. Give me Jeremiah 17 and 4. Basic scriptures real quick. My people don't even care. Don't consider. Don't look into it. Nationality be a blank. You don't give a damn. Jeremiah 17 and 4.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
And then we're going to read down to 5. Read.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
That's a symptom of the poison that was given to us by Esau, by your red daddy. You will discontinue from your heritage. Be deleted. Come on.
And I will cause thee.
They said that I gave thee. It said you would discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Our heritage, we've been nourished by the so-called white man. I want to stop right there. I want to break this down a little bit. Read it again from verse 4 from the top.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Read.
That I gave thee.
That God gave us. Hold that. We're going to come back. We're going to pull a couple of precepts, but keep your finger on that. You can drop everything else. Keep your finger on that Jeremiah 17 and 4. We're going to come back to it. The heritage God gave us. Let's start with the basic Sirach 17 and 11. Sirach 17 and 11, then on Psalms.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11.
So I'm going to get a couple of precepts describing this heritage. Psalm 17 and 11. Sirach 17 and 11. Go ahead.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge.
God gave us knowledge.
And the law of life for an heritage.
Our heritage is God's laws. He gave us knowledge and a law of life for an heritage. Let's get that knowledge. Give me Baruch real quick. Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. So besides this, we gave them knowledge, and then we also going to touch on the law of life. Baruch 3:36.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 36.
Start at 35.
Verse 35.
Come on.
This is our God.
This is our God. Read.
And there shall none other be accounted of him. In comparison of him.
All the other gods are no gods. This is our God. God is black. And no other God compares to our God. Read. Our God,
have found out all the way of knowledge.
All knowledge God has found out. Read.
And hath given it.
And God gave it
unto Jacob.
To who?
Jacob.
Our granddaddy. Read.
His servant. And to Israel his beloved.
Our great-great-grandfather and his children were delivered all knowledge. That's what it's talking about. Our heritage. is the possessors of all knowledge. We are the scholars. We are the teachers. That's why when you hit the streets, we deserve to be listened to. That's why everything should stop when the Bible's coming out from the Israelites, because we were found out all ways of knowledge from God. We were delivered all the commandments. It's our heritage. It's bigger than just our degree. It's bigger than just, oh, this is a job we took. It's our birthright. It's what we were born to do. Read on. I want chapter 4 now. Jump to chapter 4 in Baruch, verse 1. He said, after this, he gave him knowledge and a law of life for an heritage. Give me the law of life. Baruch 4 and 1.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1.
Come on.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God. This Bible right here is the book of the commandments of God. Read.
And the law that endureth forever.
This is the law that lasts forever. The hell with these apologetics, these Christians that say God's laws are done away with. That's why they took this book out, along with other books in the Apocrypha, because they can't handle the truth. The law don't go nowhere. Thou shalt not kill ain't going nowhere. Thou shalt not steal ain't going nowhere. Fringes ain't going nowhere. The dietary law ain't moved a muscle. Read.
All they that keep it.
All they that keep God's laws
shall come to life.
You gonna come to life. Read.
But such as leave it shall die.
That's how we ended up in the wilderness of Africa. That's how we ended up in America. We left God's laws and we died. Spiritually. Plenty of bodies walking around right now. But in the spirit, we're all dead. Read on.
Turn thee, O Jacob.
Turn thee, Jacob. Repent, Jacob.
And take hold of it.
Take hold of God's laws, the book of the commandments of God. Read.
Walk in the presence of the light thereof.
Walk in the light.
That thou mayest be illuminated.
Like we read in Proverbs 6:23, the laws, the covenants. The new covenant is Christ and the commandments of God. Let's get the new covenant real quick. Our heritage. So you might be thinking sacrifice is our heritage. No, we done with that now. Revelations, 14 and 12. Let's get the new covenant in a nutshell. That belongs to us.
The book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12.
We're still talking about our heritage. Read.
Here is the patience of the saints.
The saints are the Israelites according to Psalms 148, verse 14. The Israelites are the saints. Read.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
Here are the Israelites that keep God's commandments.
And faith of Jesus.
That's repentance. Keeping God's commandments, knowing you're an Israelite, a saint, and having the faith of Christ, the black Messiah. That is repentance. Go back to Baruch. And then we're going back to Jeremiah after that. Go back to Baruch 4.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 3.
Right now, we're just talking about our heritage that we left in Jeremiah. Come on.
Give not thine honor to another.
Now it says, give not thine honor to another. Who could that be? Give not thine honor to another. Now, I'm going to show you a video how we do that kind of thing. Read it again.
Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
What was profitable that we just read about? Our heritage. All right, hold that. I know I got you holding a few things. Go to Romans 3. 3 and 1. What's profitable that we gave away? Remember, this wasn't the first time we seen the Bible in 1492. We were reintroduced the Bible because we lost it. The white man picked up the ball and then hid certain things in it, perverted it, put a white image of Jesus on top of it, and instructed us out of the face of the serpent. Now read what you got, Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1.
The question was proposed, what was profitable? What's profitable? I want the words. Read.
What advantage then have the Jew?
What advantage did have the Jew, the Israelite? Read.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Come on, the covenant of circumcision given to Abraham.
Much every way.
How much?
Much every way.
It said, what profit is it? Every way there's a profit. Every way there's a profit. Come on.
Chiefly.
The main reason.
Because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
The oracles of God were committed to the Israelites. Let's get the proof. We also know that's talking about the southern kingdom, but let's look at the whole nation of Israel. Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20. We know the context. It's talking about the southern kingdom, the circumcision at that time. But what else? The whole Bible is given to all 12 tribes. Read that. Psalms 147, verse 19 to 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19.
Come on.
He showed his word unto Jacob.
He shows his word to Jacob.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
The Bible, the oracles were shown to the whole nation of Israel. Read.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
God ain't never deal no other way with any other nation. He didn't give them oracles. He didn't give them laws. He didn't give them knowledge. He never dealt with them that way. Read that part again.
he hath not dealt so with any nation.
He ain't never dealt with nobody like that. He's never dealt with anybody else like that. Read.
And as for his judgment,
And as for God's judgments,
they have not known them.
they have not known God's judgments.
Praise ye the Lord.
All praises to the Most High, they ain't known them. So go back to Baruch 4. So if you find yourself at people, we don't got the oracles of God, and now other people have the oracles of God. How did we end up in that position? They're not supposed to even, they're supposed to learn from us. But we're in a lower state. Now they're teaching us a core of the Bible and a bunch of paganism. How did we end up like that? Go back to that in Baruch.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 3. Give not thine honor to another,
Don't give your honor to another. Who's the other? Can we read it?
nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
To a strange nation. I got to touch on that again. Give me Isaiah 63. I ain't read this one in a while. Isaiah 63 and verse 17 through 19. Don't give the things profitable, which we read are the law, statutes, and commandments, this Bible. Don't give it to a strange nation, to another nation. Don't give your heritage away. No, let's read that in Isaiah 63, 17 through 19.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 63 and verse 17.
Read.
O Lord, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways?
And he ain't make us do it, but what they're saying is, it's so easy to sin. Lord, why you let it be so easy to fall into sin? Read.
And harden our heart from thy fear.
Why you allow our minds to be so hard-headed against the fear of the Lord? We don't naturally seek to please you, God. Why'd you allow it like this? Ezra was asking a similar question in the book of Ezra. Come on.
Return for thy servant's sake the tribes of thine inheritance.
Return the tribes. Isaiah's thinking about the tribes, not the world. Return for your servant's sakes the tribes of your inheritance, the people whom you have chosen, your inheritance. Read on.
The people of thy holiness
The people of thy holiness.
have possessed it but a little while.
The people of thy holiness, that is the children of Israel, have possessed it for a little while. That's the kingdom. Little while is 80 years. The kingdom of David, 40. The kingdom of Solomon, 40. And that's it. Everything else was discombobulation, persecution, backbiting, fighting, murder, betrayal, treacherous wounds, and then captivity. But only for 80 years did we have that peace, did we have that kingdom. Even David was fighting while he had it. But we only had the kingdom for 80 years. That's a little while in the scope of the Bible. Read.
Our adversaries
Have
trodden down thy sanctuary.
You see, we in that situation right now. The adversaries are trodden down Jerusalem, as we read in Luke 21. Read.
We are thine.
We, the Israelites, are yours, Lord.
Thou never bearest rule over them.
You never bear rule over the heathen. We belong to you, God. We are yours. We belong to you. Read.
They were not called by thy name.
They were not called by your name, God. Read that again. Read that again.
They were not called by thy name.
Start from the top, verse 19.
We are thine.
Not everybody. The Israelites belong to God. Read.
Thou never bearest rule over them.
You never bear rule over the heathen. Come on.
They were not called by thy name.
They have your heritage that you gave us. That's the heritage, being called by God's name. We had that stripped away from us. Give me Sirach 17, verse 17. Watch this. Let's talk about the heritage a little more. Because being fed, being poisoned by the serpent, we still going to get to the serpent. We ain't done with him. I'm going to tell you how we give away our things to a strange nation as well. Give me 17:17.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17.
Watch this right here.
For in the division of the nations.
For in the division of the nations. God divided the nations. God divided the nations. Read.
Of the whole earth.
So all earth ain't joined together. Why God make all people look different if you want them all to be the same? Why he divide us up? Hold that. Give me that in Leviticus 20. Christians dumb. Even Islam. All these religions are still Christianity. I don't care if the Arab man in it, it's still got Christianity. If it's in America, Christianity is involved with it. Esau got his hands in it. And he teaches the same message. Bring everyone together. When in the Bible has that ever been okay? Bring everybody together. Give me Leviticus 20 and 26, I believe. You got me?
The book of Leviticus,
20,
chapter 20 and verse 26.
Bring that out.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
God said you should be holy unto me. Read.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
I am holy. Meaning, remember we read, no God compares to the Most High God. There are no other gods compared to God. There's just one God. So he says, I'm holy, meaning I'm the only one. I'm the real one. Read.
And have severed you.
Start from the top.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
You shall be holy. You're the only chosen people. You the ones. Deuteronomy 7:6, special people. Deuteronomy 14:2, peculiar people. You the ones. You shall be holy to God. Read.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
You are made in my image. I made you first. You're the firstborn. I'm holy. Therefore, I made you holy. Read.
And have severed you.
And I separated you. If you sever your arm, you cut it off. If something gets severed, it's cut off. I've cut you off. Read.
From other people.
You differ from other people. Read.
That ye should be mine.
So if you're not cut off from other people, you don't belong to God. If you're not cut off from other people, you do not belong to God. You belong to the devil. Because everybody else belongs to Satan. It's two sides. You're of your father, the devil, if you ain't separated from all the nations. Go back to Sirach 17:17. Read it when you got it.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17.
Come on.
For in the division of the nations of the whole earth.
That's what we read right there. Here's another precept. For in the division, finish that and I'm going to give you a precept.
For in the division of the nations of the whole earth.
For the division of the nations of the whole earth. Come on.
He set a ruler over every people.
Everybody got their own ruler. Come on.
But Israel is the Lord's portion.
Israel's the Lord's portion. You know what? Deuteronomy 32:8. But Israel's the Lord's portion. He set a ruler over everybody. He divided everybody, left one ruler. If he didn't want that, everybody have one ruler in one place from the beginning. It's not like that. We'd all be the same color, marrying everybody off gate. We all be purple or something, and we all are blue-faced, and we all do the same thing. We all be Smurfs. But they ain't make it like that. Read that, Deuteronomy 32:8.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8.
Come on.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
That's why the Christians want you to skip the Old Testament. It's all filled with separation. It's filled with division, order, structure. There's order and structure. Ain't just a whole bag of marbles thrown on the floor. Different color marbles are gathered with the other color marbles in a specific order. Read that again in Deuteronomy.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
When he divided to the nations their inheritance, come on.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
God separated the sons of Adam.
Read. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel, meaning they all got their appointed land, but he's looking out for Israel most of all. It's all based on what Israel needs, baby. Come on.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
The Lord's portion is his people. He deal with his people. Above all people, he deal with his people. Come on.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
All right, now go back to Sirach 17. Just want to get that real quick. Christianity destroyed right there. You can't deal with any of those Old Testament scriptures. You can't deal with this apocrypha in Christianity. Read on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17.
Read.
For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people.
Come on.
But Israel is the Lord's portion.
Israel's the Lord's portion. Come on.
Whom, being his firstborn.
Israel is the firstborn. Exodus 4:22 real quick to prove that. I just said it, but we got to go back and prove it. Israel is his firstborn. Even though Jacob came after Esau, but just as God dealt with Ishmael, Esau, you don't count. You don't count. That's what I mean by he hates you. You don't get nothing. You get nothing. You get the sword, you get to be the devil, and then you get to die. Outside that, you get nothing. Read Exodus 4:22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 22.
Read.
And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son.
Israel's my son. Come on.
Even my firstborn.
You blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians scattered abroad, you are God's firstborn. He set the whole world up according to you. There wouldn't be a planet without you. But we got to get the toxins out your brain. And we're going to show you how you were delivered into vain thoughts where we all equal. We should all get along. I can coexist with people. I'm not saying be violent towards people. We can coexist as in be peaceable among all men, like the Bible commands. But not, I'm going to do a little bit of your religion. I'm going to date your women. You're going to date my women. Your philosophy is going to become my gospel. None of that. Go back to Sirach 17, verse 18.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 18.
Read.
Whom being his firstborn, he nourished with discipline. and giving him the light of his love.
That's what God's laws are. He nourished them with what? He nourished them with what?
He nourished with discipline.
He nourished with discipline. Come on.
And giving him the light of his love, doth he not forsake him?
He nourished him with discipline. Discipline is the keeping of the commandments.
Even after 9/11, America's approach did not change. In fact, the US went into an overdrive. It sold weapons to everyone and their grandmother in the name of bringing peace and stability. Look at the numbers. Since 2001, the United States has sold conventional weapons worth almost $200 billion to 167 countries around the world.
Stop. She said, in the name of peace, America sold weapons to everybody. That's what she said. 167 countries use American weapons. Look at all that war. Look at all that misfortune. Look at all that death. And who's there every time? Is it the Saudi Arabians? Is it China? It's your friendly neighborhood so-called white men, Esau. That's who did it. Amalek, Edom. That's who did it. Play on.
Autocratic, with long records of human rights violations, infamous for violently suppressing democratic dissent. There are simply too many red flags.
They said the people who they fund are wild and crazy. The people who get the American weapons are crazy people that oppress people as well. Play on.
Are these shady clients? We'll give you the names in just a bit, but first look at this chart. It assesses the risk posed by America's customers, both current and former clients. The framework is based on the stability of the regime, how the government treats its people, and if the country is involved in conflicts at home or abroad. The score range is from 5 to 15. The US wants you to believe that it's bringing peace and democracy to the world. The truth may be the exact opposite. The low-risk countries have been sold the least weapons. As you can see here, the high-risk countries have got the maximum.
So she said it's not true that they're trying to bring, they said America wants you to believe they're bringing peace to the world. That's a lie. She said that's not true. Play on.
Which are these countries?
Go to 512.
Iraq,
Make sure you go into 512.
Libya,
Play on the 512.
Yemen, the Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, the most volatile countries on this planet. They're all in possession of American weapons. Then we have Saudi Arabia, currently embroiled in military operations in Yemen, Tunisia, and Syria, a country with a track record of human rights violations.
They say that's a prize client. All the people that's about to pop off in the Middle East, they got American weapons. Play on.
And the opposite of a democracy. It's a prized American client. What does all of this tell you? That the US promotes conflicts rather than stability. It fuels wars with its weapons. And this policy remains irrespective of who's in power, Democrats or Republicans.
Run that back. Gotta run that back. That's the main point. Run that back. Just go back. That's that statement she just made, that little rant. Run that back. Go ahead, play.
With a track record of human rights violations and the opposite of a democracy. It's a prized American client. What does all of this tell you? That the US promotes conflicts rather than stability.
Pause. The America, Babylon the Great, start stuff. They don't fix nothing. They've always been about starting stuff. We're going to read that in the scriptures. Play on.
Fuels wars with its weapons. And this policy remains irrespective of who's in power, Democrats or Republicans.
So it don't matter what kind of snake you get. It said, irregardless of Democrat, Republican, all that garbage that we've fallen for over time, it don't matter what brand of white man it is. It don't matter what kind of Edomite. They both represent war, and they profit from it. Did you play the 512? Play the 512. That's it? Okay, cool. All right, go back to Psalms 58. Now we're going to read verse 2 and 3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 2.
Read.
Yea, in the heart ye work wickedness.
In the heart you work wickedness.
Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
Read.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
The wicked are y'all messed up as soon as y'all born. Something wrong with y'all as soon as y'all come out the womb. Read.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
As soon as you born, you going off. Read.
Speaking lies.
They're natural born liars. Lie. Keep reading.
They're poison.
They're what?
They're poison.
That's what we've been drinking. The poison of this liar. Hold that real quick. We're going to come back to it. Psalms 55 and 21. They got a specific kind of poison. Neurotoxin. Make you think, make you hallucinate. You know there's some neurotoxin make you hallucinate? Them poisonous toads out there in the South American jungle. Some people just lick the toad to make themselves hallucinate. Some of the poison is to mess your mind up. That's Esau's poison. It targets your mind, a neurotoxin. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were
the words, the poison is what?
Smoother than butter.
It's smooth. Let's go down clean. It's easy to accept their lies. Read.
But war was in his heart. His words were softer
in his
than
heart,
oil.
he think about nothing but war. Didn't we just see that in the article? He think about nothing but war. He make it seem like, no, world peace, world peace. Meanwhile, he funding all the weapons. That's why what's going on in the Middle East, he paying for all of it. He's going to pay for all of it. Come on.
His words were softer than oil.
That thing go down smooth. You can't even tell it's poison. Read.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet he had a different purpose in mind. That's how a liar works. Now go back to Psalms 58, verse 4.
The book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 4.
Read.
Their poison
their doctrine, their teaching, their revelations, their Bible, their Christianity, their thought process, their sins is what?
Is like the poison of a serpent.
That's what we've been fed by, the face of the serpent. Their poison, been drinking it up. Read.
They are like the deaf adder.
They're like a snake
that stoppeth her ear.
Now, yeah, read on.
Which will not hearken to the voice of charmers.
Real quick, Proverbs 6:13. We'll speed it up. Proverbs 6:13.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 13.
I'm sorry, verse 12.
Verse 12.
Come on.
A naughty person.
A naughty person.
A wicked man.
A wicked man.
Walketh with a forward mouth.
Meaning he goes against God. Forward means you go against God. Now, usually we bring this out. We talking about a wife beater. A brother like to lay hands on his wife. Let's look at the real husband of the black man and the black woman in America, the Hispanic and Native American. Who they husband? You are of your father, the devil, your big red daddy. This is him right here. He's a naughty person. He wicked as hell. Read.
He winketh with his eyes.
Know what that means? He winked with his eyes. Sirach 27:22. Hold that. This is a precept. Sirach 27:22. What does it mean to wink with your eyes? Sirach 27, verse 22. He said he winketh with his eyes. What's wrong with that?
The book of Sirach, chapter 27 and verse 22.
Come on.
He that winketh with his eyes worketh evil.
What?
He that winketh with his eyes worketh evil.
They hit one of those on you? They work evil. That's a white man. He work evil. Come on.
And he that knoweth him.
If you know a man that act like that deal like Esau, all his lies, his back talk, how you say, talk out of both sides of his mouth. Read.
Will depart from him.
Get away from him. Get away from him. He went with his eyes, something off with him. His spirit ain't right in him, like it said in Habakkuk 2 and 4. Go back to Proverbs 6.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man.
Esau, the damn devil,
walketh with a forward mouth.
He goes against God. He exalts himself against all that is God. Come on.
He winketh with his eyes.
He winked with his eyes. He evil as hell. Read.
He speaketh with his feet.
He whoop your behind. He the real gangster. Not these thugs out here in the street with your pants hanging off your behind. Not you. Esau kill your whole family and everybody related to you and then make it look like you deserved it. That's gangster. He teach with his feet. Read.
He teacheth with his fingers.
He'll blow you to hell and back. He'll send a helicopter there. He'll blow up like he did the movement. He blew up the whole building, lit it on fire, and let it sit there and burn. While people watch and say, get the fire department. He said, no, I'm not. No, you're going to watch them burn and learn a lesson from this. Like he blew up Black Wall Street, teach with his fingers. He blew it up. He dropped a bomb on it. They made a song about it. You dropped a bomb on me. Come on.
Forwardness is in his heart.
Going against God is steadily in his mind because he thinks he is God. So forward and stay in his mind. Come on.
He deviseth mischief continually.
He always, like I said to Micah, he always thinking about mischief, which is sin. He's always thinking of ways to oppress the children of Israel and go against God. Read.
He soweth discord.
What did he do?
He soweth discord.
He sowed discord between everything and everyone. Why? Because he wants all nations joined to him. The only way, he wants everybody to love him like God. Hold that real quick. Give me Ezekiel 28. Ezekiel 28. He wants everybody to treat him as God. How? Well, you can't have a God if I'm God. You can't have unity if I'm not there. Therefore, I sow discord between everybody else. Come on.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 1.
Yeah, read down to 2.
The word of the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus.
This is Esau, biblically, prophetically speaking, talking about Esau. Read.
Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up.
Your mind is high. You're very proud. Read.
And thou hast said,
You said,
I am God.
Who is that? I don't know nobody from Tyrus talking about their God. No, it's talking about Esau. Only Europeans say they God with their white image of Jesus. It said, I am God. Read.
I sit in the seat of God.
I have all the churches. Christianity is a white institution. Read.
In the midst of the sea.
In all the people everywhere, sowing discord, making sure you love him. Read.
Yet thou art a man.
But God corrects you. You are a man.
And not God.
And you're not God.
Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
Though you suppose your mind to be God's. You'll run the Bible through your thought process first and teach us Christianity. Go back now. Proverbs 6. We're almost done with Proverbs 6.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly.
His destruction, Esau's destruction, gonna come quick. Read.
Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy.
He gonna be broke without remedy. I want you to drop that. Go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2. He will be broken without remedy. This is prophetic. Esau will fall in the last days. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. Verse 2, I'm sorry.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 2.
Come on.
For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Come on. That's destruction. World War III, Christ's return, bombs and missiles gonna come like a thief in the night. Come on.
But when they shall say peace and safety.
When the Esau think they good, when the world seems to have peace, read.
Then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
That forward man gonna pay. That viper, that snake gonna pay. Read.
As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Same way travail with a woman with child, meaning when she is about to give birth, they are labor pains and they escalate slowly. The contractions get closer and closer and closer. Esau, your end is going to come closer, 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 closer until it hit. Boom. There is no more Caucasian. There is no more African American. All those labels going to be gone and we're going to get delivered. America going to be gone. A smoking hole for everybody to look at as a memorial to the devil the Bible speaks of and his children. I want to go from there. I got another video real quick. No, give me that article about the Black Hebrew Israelites. It's a PDF real quick. Like I said, we're going to try to speed it up. I'm going to have to skip some stuff. Go back to Revelations while they're getting that 14. The serpent. I'm sorry, Revelations 12 and 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
A great escape.
That she might fly into the wilderness.
Into Africa.
And to her place.
And then into America by way of slave ships. Read.
Where she is nourished for a time.
She is nourished. She is nourished. Give me Deuteronomy 28:48. Hold that. We're going to come right back to it. Deuteronomy 28:48. Deuteronomy 28:48. Let's get to that nourishment. Read what you got real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Read.
Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies.
As a curse for breaking God's commandments, we would serve our enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Esau was sent against us by God. Read.
In hunger.
So for food, real nourishment of the body, we'd have to serve them. Read.
And in thirst.
For liquid nourishment, we have to serve him. Read.
And in nakedness.
For the nourishment of clothing, we'd have to serve them. Read.
And in the want of all things. And he shall put
all things include your housing, your education, your laws, your structure, your order, your land allotments, your thought process, how your children are raised, your entertainment, what makes you sad, what makes you happy, what makes you scared, all delivered to you, all nourished by the serpent. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That same man, you know who he is. He put the yokes of iron on your neck. Read.
Until he hath destroyed thee.
Until he destroyed you. That's the face of the serpent. Poison destroys. Venom, you can't, it's not breast milk. We drinking from fangs like breasts. That don't nourish you. How you say, makes you toxic. Come on, go back to Revelations.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Come on.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she may fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times.
Now, time is 100 years. Times is 200 years. So now we had 300. Read.
And half a time.
Half a time is half of 100. That's 350 years. That's the time of us coming out of slavery. That's how the approximation of our time in servitude to the so-called white man in America. Read.
From the face of the serpent.
350 years. Read.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
So the serpent, he's going to cast out water as a flood to devour the woman, to drown her. Read. So what kind of stuff will come out of the mouth of a serpent? More poison. Those fangs going to squirt. Say, oh, you fighting back? Gush of poison. Read.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Uh-huh.
And the earth helped the woman.
Now, before we get to that, give me that PDF. Let me get that PDF. Well, would you look at that? What camp is that? This is a PDF. It's a very official document. They look familiar right there. It's a little outdated image. That's that old image of Christ we used to have. But that look real familiar. Read that for me, soldier.
Contemporary violent extremists and the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. September 2022.
They're going to put violent extremism right underneath Israel United in Christ. Oh, that's for a reason. And what it says September 2022. That's last year. Little over a year ago. Let's go to page 3. Go up. You just passed it. I think go up. Right there. About the program on extremism. I think that's it. Can you read that?
About the program on extremism. The program on extremism at the George Washington University.
I want you to jump down. Just go to read the views and conclusions.
The views and conclusions contained in this document are those of the authors and should not be interpreted as necessarily representing the official policies, either expressed or implied, of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security or the George Washington University.
So they're trying to say, don't affiliate this with the big wigs. But watch what it says next. Read.
This material is based upon the work supported by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Hold up. This is financed by the This is fine. You see how we can talk out both sides of the mouth? This is financed by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Scroll back up to the top. Who's this about? Scroll back to the top. Okay, so Homeland Security looking at, go up all the way to the top. I want to see the picture. I want to see the picture. Yeah. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is looking at these folks and calling them violent extremists. I ain't did nothing violent ever in this truth, nor have I ever received instruction to. No Israelite has. But they're painting a narrative. This is part of the flood. Give me page 7, not chapter 7. Page 7. I'm just going to skip around. There's a whole article on it where they try to make, how do you say, false correlations. Just read that first paragraph, just a little bit of it.
Predictions of large-scale violence by BHI groups around the year 2000 did not come to fruition, neither did the messianic prophecies offered by some groups within the movement.
So they're already saying there's going to be violence for this group. Way back before 2000, they are trying to paint us as murderers. So let's go down. I read that from the top.
Introduction. Over the past several years, the threat of domestic violent extremists,
that's what that is, DVE,
to the United States has undergone a simultaneously uptick and broadening in scope to include an immeasurably wide variety of actors with different motivations, ideologies, and grievances. Within this litany of increasingly lethal DVE movements.
So they're saying the DVE meaning domestic violent extremism. Don't that sound like Arab terror, like the so-called Ishmael man? It sound like somebody putting a bomb on their chest. But that's what they are now calling us. They've changed the black identity extremists. You're going to read that. They changed that logo. They changed that. They got rid of that. And now we're DVEs and we're something else. All right, go ahead.
Blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, so small.
Okay. DVE movements are extremists associated with and or inspired by the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, who in the past 5 years were responsible for significant terrorist incidents in Jersey City.
Blah, blah, blah. So, they try to pin that stuff that the Muslims did. Those brothers were Muslim. They wore Muslim attire. They were practicing Muslims. They try to pin that on us. I just wanted that for the DVE. Go to page 16. Now they're going to talk about RMVE because they're watching us constantly, and they update their lingo to hide what they're doing. So I think it's page 16. Go back up. I think it's that. Go up one page. It's page 16 on the PDF. Yeah, right here. Right there it says the FBI abandoned the term. The FBI, scroll down. It says the FBI abandoned the term. All right.
The FBI abandoned the term Black identity extremists in 2019.
You know why they probably did that? That's around the time Bishop brought that thing out. Now they don't use that anymore. Now read on.
And began labeling the movements formerly associated with this term under its classification of RMVE.
RMVE.
Together with white supremacists.
Oh, now we group with white supremacists. Come on.
Neo-Nazis.
Now we're neo-Nazis, which is the same damn thing. Come on.
Anti-Muslim.
Which is the same damn thing, white people.
And anti-Latino violent
guess what? That's the
extremists.
same white people. They just divide white folks into different categories. Same thing. KKK. Come on.
And other DVEs who were motivated by racial or ethnic basis.
I ain't read nothing about Arabs in there, but that's the main ones that's coming for y'all. Y'all trying so hard to lump us in with the Ku Klux Klan. So I want you to scroll up a little bit. It's going to tell you what the RMVE stands for. Scroll up to the top of that one page. RVE. All right. Just jump where it says today, the FBI.
Today, the FBI classifies BHI-related violent extremists under the broader category of racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists.
So that's your new logo. It's no longer Black Identity Extremists. So you got to watch out for this one now. They're still on it. They just changed this last year. This is fresh off the presses. Just last year. Oh, we're going to switch it up on them. Well, we coming for them. Go to the 16, page 16. There's a lot in here. There's stuff you can read through.
After the back-to-back incidents in 2019.
That's around the time they switched the name. Come on.
Most perpetrators of violence with a nexus.
That's perpetrators, but yeah, go ahead.
To BHI extremists ideology have more resembled Grafton Thomas rather than David Anderson.
These examples they used. Go ahead.
Or Francine Graham. 3 traits characterize subsequent attackers. They are usually unlike Graham or Anderson, formerly a long-term participants in any extremist BHI group or self-proclaimed BHI members.
Matter of fact, let's go to the next page. Give me the second paragraph. We're gonna wrap up soon. Give me the second paragraph. For instance, here's an example. So they're bringing in different instances and trying to say this is Black Hebrew Israelite stuff. So let's read, for instance, on November 21st.
For instance, on November 21st, 2021, Daryl Brooks piloted a Ford Escape. Piloted a Ford Escape SUV into a crowd of revelers at an annual Christmas parade in Wisconsin, killing 6 and injuring over 60 others.
We don't teach that. We would never teach that. I know no Israelite camp that does teach that. Read.
The debate is still ongoing about the attackers' motives.
So they don't even know what his motive is. But why is it in this very official document? But they don't even know why he did it. But he's in this very official document. This is just 2 years ago. Go down to the part where it's talking about Adolf Hitler. It says, nevertheless, midway through it said, nevertheless,
among the variety of conspiracy theories reported, espoused by Brooks on his social media accounts, included a 2015 post displaying a fake quote from Adolf Hitler that went viral on social media.
That's why they say it's us, because of one quote. Just one thing he posted. That's all he had posted, is one thing. He killed 6. Oh, that's definitely a Black Hebrew Israelite. They're definitely extremists. We're going to use this. All this is the flood. This one mentally ill person who shared one thing That don't make him no part of no group. I'll read on.
The fake quotes claims that Hitler distinguished between.
I'll finish it up real quick. That Hitler distinguished between the real Jews and fake Jews and argued that the Negroes are the real children of Israel. This false quote, due to the affirmation of a core BHI extremist tenet, was distributed widely by BHI extremist circles across social media. So what they're saying is, because I seen Israelites share that and he shared that, they're the same people. Though they never discovered a motive from him murdering those people. We do not condone that. We do not teach that. We do not allow that in our membership at all. We found out you did any kind of crime, your ass is out of here. And you get rebuked with the scriptures. Hell, we'll probably call the police. Hey, listen. But what Esau is doing is the flood. He wants to bring that flood and drown us and set up public opinion against us. Now, the next paragraph is going to talk about, there's a couple of armed groups. We don't say no kind of, you could protect yourself at home, but you keep the laws of the land. It's talking about groups that are like militias, right? At the bottom, it says TLOJAF is a militia group. We ain't affiliated with no militia groups. With divisions throughout the country. Remember, our picture's at the top of this crap. Throughout the country, whose goal is to help free the chosen nation from mental, physical, and spiritual bondage while united the chosen nation after being taught self-hate and division over 400 plus years through the four corners of the earth. Because they have that statement, they automatically loop them in with us. But these people were trying to kill a candidate for political office. I'm just skimming through it. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We don't teach that. But let us do that now. I want the white boy video. Give me Timmy. What's his name? Aiden. Give me little Aiden's video. Let's do the same thing to what? Because what they're saying is, what kind of church did they go to? Oh, he had an Israelite post one time. Obviously, they're the same people. Give me Aiden Fauci. Or Fauci. I think it might be Fauci. Fauci. Let's do the same thing. Let's use the same logic they just used in this very official document that they're going to use to put some of us in prison. Let's use that same logic on the so-called white man, the so-called white boy. This is at the time he did his crime, he was 14 years old. Play that at the timestamp I gave you. We almost done. A lot I got to cut out of the class, but let's play that real quick.
Of the offense committed by the defendant. These factors are somewhat combined. (114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder.
Hold up. Those are you see how many times this guy stabbed? He stabbed a girl. He was 14 when he stabbed someone 114 times. Your friendly neighbor. Look at him. Peter Parker. Friendly neighborhood white man. 14-year-old. Stabbed somebody 114 times. Come on. Play on.
This court has reviewed and seen more than its fair share of autopsy photos. The autopsy photos in this particular case were particularly difficult. The 49 defensive wounds indicate that Tristan Bailey was conscious.
That's the girl he murdered.
That she was aware and that she was doing everything she could to fend off this attack. She suffered a painful, horrifying death from someone that she trusted.
Did you play the 316?
Her screams were most likely stifled by her own suffocating lungs.
Damn. See, so her screams were stopped by her own suffocating lungs. So he's getting tried and convicted for murder as a 14-year-old. Go to grandma. Now, they never mentioned what church he went to. You notice that? They say, well, he went to he's affiliated with the white Hebrew Israeli. No, none of that came out. Don't worry. We did the research. We found out. We found out what kind of religion he's in. Don't worry. We took care of it. Give me grandma. Grandma slipped up. They never mentioned their upbringing. Give me, start at 7 minutes, and then we're going to jump to 12 minutes. They never mentioned, because it's like, oh, he had all his mental health. They're going to mental. Okay, well, if his mental health so bad, what was he taught growing up? How was he nourished? Let's see. Start at 7 minutes.
We don't condone what happened, and we're very sorry for your loss.
That's his
He's
grandma.
always been such a good kid. And
He's always been such a
I don't even
good
know where
kid.
that came from.
I don't know where it came from.
He doesn't have any bad in his family or around him or...
Pause. All right, so we're going 12 minutes. You heard it. He's such a good kid. Nothing bad was ever around him. Family, family, family. So, okay, if everything was good, he wasn't like tortured as a child, how did he all of a sudden become just Chucky and he's stabbing the hell out of his little girlfriend? How did that happen? Let's play the same blame game Esau does with us. Go to 12 minutes.
To tell you,
So she's pleading with the judge right here.
And for his actions, and I love him, and his family love him very much too. And I know we're a very large Christian family.
Stop! Play that again. I just need that little part. I found a problem based on the so-called white man's logic in his paper. It's because he's in Christianity. He's a murderer because he's in Christianity. He's part of a very large Christian family. Play that again.
Can't see real good. I'm sorry. Probably look a mess. I just wanted to tell you, I know he has to be punished, and for his actions, and I love him, and his family love him very much too. And I know we're a very large Christian family.
Uh-oh. Play on.
And we pray all the time. And
we pray all the time. White
I
Jesus.
just hope you consider it a little bit. And please don't take him out of our lives forever.
Okay, you can drop that. I hope you consider that we're Christians. I hope you consider we go to the Christian church, that we raised a murderer, a maniac, who had nothing else. She said, I don't know how it didn't come from nowhere. She didn't mention him killing cats or nothing like that. He won't rape or nothing like that. She came out of nowhere. But we're Christians. So using the logic that they used in that PDF from the Department of Homeland Security, the Christian church is an extremist group who makes murderers. Based on their history, it's the world's bloodiest religion. The Christians right now are bombing the hell out of Gaza Strip. The Christians and the so-called Jewish man, those are Christian weapons in that so-called Jewish man. They're really murderers. So I understand now why their little kids shoot up schools, kill their parents, kill little girlfriends, kill their wives and throw them over a boat. All Edomites got boats. They all got boats. And their wives always get missing. Backyards is full of plots. Because you're Christians. Because you're damn religion. Because it's of the devil. That's why. So, we're about to wrap it up. Let's go to, we're going to fight against this devil. That's why we got to cleanse our mind from the toxins we've been delivered, feeding off the face of the serpent. Give me that in Acts. We're going to go real fast, so stay with me. Acts 6, verse 8. We're going real fast. We're about to wrap it up. We're going to fight against the face of the serpent. Now we identify the serpent. We can't deal with him. Look at his offspring. Look what Christianity creates. Murderers. Stabbed a girl 114 times. She was dead after 32. But he had to make sure because of white Jesus. That's the logic y'all use with us. Share one post and we all in a hate group. But look at you. Raising axe murderers. Raising school shooters. All the people Christians. Read on.
The book of Acts, chapter 6 and verse 8.
Come on.
And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people.
Read.
And there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of
Libertines.
And Cyrenus, and Alexandrians.
Come on.
And of the Cilicia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen.
They would dispute and argue with Stephen. You see us on the streets like that image they had. When we out there in the streets, guess what? We come with the gospel. We come with a message of peace. We want to teach, but guess what people do? They dispute with us. But you frame that as hate. You try to paint the picture with that flood that we some type of group that promotes violence. No, they dispute with us. I'm going to show you in the Bible they've always done that. And we don't run from no problems. We want all the smoke, but we never take it to violence. Read on.
Verse 10.
Come on.
And they were not able to resist the wisdom of the Spirit by which he spake.
The wisdom and the Spirit by which he spake, they could not overcome it. That's us. Not because we're bigger, stronger than nobody, or they got more college degrees. The wisdom of God is stronger than anything you can bring against us. That's what we bring. Come on.
Then they suborned men, which said, we have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God.
That's you and your apologetics, your Christian church. You always try to sneak into the camp. We've been blitzed more than we've ever blitzed the church. We've blitzed every Sabbath. We teach 365 days a year. You always blitz us. Type in YouTube. I'm not saying for you to do IT, but you watching. Type in YouTube, IUIC undercover pastor. See how many videos pop up. I know I've had a couple. Just me in Louisville, North Carolina. They're all over the net. Even the other camp, there's always an undercover pastor sneaking in to what? Destroy the flock. To turn people against us. To sow discord among us. Esau show up, sow discord. He don't want to learn nothing we got going on. We always attack and assault for teaching the word because we're a threat. Spiritually, they can't let us stand. They know we got spiritual weapons. Read on.
And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes.
Come on.
And came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council and set up false witnesses.
They're going to use that whole document and bring up false witnesses against you. What is it? DVEs. There are MVEs. This is extremist stuff going on. That's coming. That's the persecution that talked about in Matthew 24. Keep reading.
Which said, this man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against the holy place and the law.
Read.
For we have heard him say,
come on,
that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us.
Acts 9:22 real quick.
The book of Acts, chapter 9 and verse 22.
I want that image from the book. Come on.
But Saul increased the more in strength and confounded the Jews that dwelt at Damascus.
That's us. We ain't gonna do nothing but increase in strength and confound all your religious leaders. And some persuade them to the light, as we doing right now. We just ain't gonna tell you what we doing. You're gonna have to go and find out later. We already everywhere. And the word is too powerful for you to stop. And we're gonna do nothing but increase in strength. The more you attack us, the stronger we go. Because we're getting rid of the toxins and poisons that was in us from the face of the serpent. Come on.
Proving that this is very Christ.
Give me verse 29.
Verse 29.
Read.
And he spake boldly in the name of the Lord Jesus.
Come on.
And disputed against the Grecians.
And we disputed among the Greek-speaking Jews, the Hellenists. Come on.
But they went about to slay him.
They want to kill him at the end of the day. That's going to come for all of us that teach this gospel. Our just reward. They're going to want our bodies. They're going to want our blood. But they'll never get our soul. Read.
Which when the brethren knew, they brought him down to Caesarea and sent him forth to Tarsus.
All right, drop that. Go to Sirach 22:6. It's never a bad time for correction. We've been to homecoming games. We're gonna pop up at the cookout. We're gonna pop up at the march. We're gonna pop up at whatever, wherever we are. The Day of the Dead. We're gonna be there, and we're gonna cast down idolatry. Read what you got.
The book of Sirach, chapter 22 and verse 6.
There's nothing you can do to stop us. Read.
A tale out of season is as music in mourning.
Mm-hmm.
But stripes and correction of wisdom are never out of time.
It says stripes and correction of wisdom are never coming at a bad time. It's always time for you to get this work. There's always time for you to get corrected. This wisdom and knowledge can hit you at any moment. You're not safe out here. We coming. We coming to correct you, win souls, or warn you before destruction comes. It is what it is. Hey, go to 1 Maccabees 3:20. We almost done?
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 20.
Come on.
They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us.
They come to destroy us. That's our own people. That's the serpent himself and all who he has poisoned. They come against us to do what?
They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us.
They're in sin and they want to destroy us because we're not. Read.
And our wives and children.
They want to destroy our wives and children that just seek righteousness. Read.
To spoil us.
To spoil us. Read.
But we fight.
We what?
But we fight.
We fight.
For our lives.
For our lives.
And our laws.
We fight for our lives and laws. Read.
Wherefore, the Lord himself will overthrow them.
That's right. The Lord going to overthrow you. Give me that in Exodus. No, give me your Exodus 14:14 real quick. Then Deuteronomy 20. Exodus 14 and 14.
The book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 14.
Read.
The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
The Lord will fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. What it going to look like? We're going to show you. Give me Exodus 20 and 4. I need that last clip from the Matrix. We're just going to play little tiny bits of it, and we about done. Deuteronomy 20 and 3 and 4.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and
20 verse 3.
20 and verse 3.
Come on.
and shall say unto them,
Come on.
Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint. Fear not.
Fear not.
And do not tremble. Neither be ye terrified because of them.
Don't be afraid of your enemies and all these plots against you. Come on.
For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you.
Christ, the black Messiah, is going with us. He's going to war with us. He's shadowing over us. Every step we make, he's in it. You're in the right place. He will defend us. Read.
To fight for you.
He gonna fight for us. It's never just you. It's never just your intellect, your intelligence. The Lord fights for Israel. Read.
Against your enemies.
Against our enemies. They are God's enemies. Read.
To save you.
To what?
To save you.
Now, go to 2 Ezra 13. I want the clip. Pull it up real quick. You got the timestamps I want? All right, load that clip real quick. Now, here's how the Lord coming out. This is Matrix Revolutions. People say it's one of the worst movies. The fourth movie is the worst one. But this one, there's a key scene right here I like in the spirit. Play this. Just a little bit. All right, pause. It's in Zion. They're in Zion. The place is called Zion. They're in the final battle. It seems all is lost. They lost many casualties. And the machines, Esau, is closing in. They're about to finish the rest of them off. They just hunker down in one little place. Watch what happens. Play on. Oh, they heard something. Pause. Play on. Look at it. They put out they went. Pause now. You see, they put out the little satellite dish. They say something's going on somewhere else. Give me that 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 32. This is how the Lord gonna fight for us. When they come down on us the hardest, when they persecute us, they use those laws, PDFs like that one, and ones that's going to be worse. They say we're a hate group, that we're extremists, that we're violent, and they'll use that in our own people to be riled up to come kill us. And it looks like all is lost just like that, and they're right on us. All of a sudden, their attention is going to be sent somewhere else. Read that.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared.
What's going to happen?
And then shall my son be declared.
Play on in that video. It said, my son shall be declared. Now, Neo, everybody knows he's representative of Christ in this movie. Not that he's white, but he's the chosen one. Now, play on.
What are they doing?
They don't know what's going on. Why is everybody stopping? They about to kill us. Now, jump to the other clip. So Morpheus, he a prophet. He already knows. Like, I know what's going on. I already know what's going on. He gonna break it down to you. Go to that next clip. Y'all know what I want? I think it's like 30 seconds. Read that again where you was at.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 32.
When it seems all is lost, read.
And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass. And the signs shall happen.
That is going to include the death of the prophets, the death of the saints, and our families. Some of us going to die. When we see those signs come to pass, read.
Which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared.
Then we see Christ, the black Messiah, coming from with the clouds of heaven with great power. Read.
Whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Who you saw going up into the chariot. Play that video. You got me? Play on. Play right there. So that's symbolic of Christ entering the fray. Now he's into the battle. They're not fighting us anymore. They're occupied. Neo, Christ.
He fights for us.
He said he fights for us. And then the ass whooping begins. It's on. The final battle. Jacob and Esau. With Christ taking the helm. That's what happens next. He said, Neo, he fights for us. Go back to 2 Ezra. That's what we're going to say. They stopped killing us. They stopped coming against us. What happened? Christ. He's fighting for us. Read on.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 33.
Read.
And when all the people hear his voice.
They're going to hear his voice. They're going to hear the black Messiah's voice. Read.
Every man in their own land leave the battle. They have for one another.
Read.
For one another.
They're going to leave the battle. Christ fights for us. We're going to know it's like he's here. Read.
And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together.
A whole bunch of armies. Everybody gonna unite like Independence Day, all those movies. We all gonna come together and try to smash Christ, but you won't be able to defeat him. Read.
As thou sawest them.
Come on.
Willing to come and to overcome him by fighting.
They're gonna try to beat him by fighting. Read.
But he shall stand upon the top of the mount of Zion.
He gonna stand with the Israelites. Read.
And Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men.
Everybody gonna know we the children of God. Read.
Being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill, graven without hands.
Read.
And this my son,
Jesus of Christ. Read.
shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations.
He gonna rebuke them. We're gonna show you how. Come on.
Which for their wicked life are fallen unto the tempest.
What are you gonna do?
And shall lay before them their evil thoughts.
All the schemes they did, he's going to make them known. I know everything you plot against my people. All the crafty counsel, all the secret wickedness. Read.
And the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented.
And I'm going to burn you by those things. Read.
Which are like unto a flame.
He's going to burn you with his judgments. The nuclear fire is coming down. Christ is bringing it. Read.
And he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire.
And that's how he's going to destroy you. Without labor. With the law, which is like unto fire.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.